Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to another day of reviewing questions and explanations. So get your cup of coffee, snack, and let's review another 25 questions. We'll do national questions first, and then we'll continue with state from our Wednesday session. All right, so stay tuned. Hey, y'all, what's up? This is Wild Lillie Hindi, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. And hey, visiting you everywhere in the nation, everywhere in the world. Anyone that wants to study for the national state exam and also for the Texas real estate exam, come join us. This will be an awesome session. Time for you to review your questions, ask me questions, participate, type in the question and the answer, and let me help you get your questions correct. Okay, let me help you understand the questions. So we're continuing to use this book that I'm showing here, Texas Real Estate Sales Exam. Again, it's an awesome book. It's an old book, but it is awesome. It is helping lots of students pass their exams. It's got 110 questions. The first 80 are national questions, which applies to every state, and the last 30 are state. So today we're on exam number 1 for the national questions. So as you can see, it's got exam 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's got vocabulary, also known as glossary, math review, excuse me, and a little bit of a test preparation system and an overview of what a Texas sales exam is. However, the national questions and vocabulary apply to all states. Okay. All right. So on the national exam, okay, we are starting today with question number 14. If you've downloaded this book from my Facebook page, AgentPrep, it is in there under guide number 3. Okay. So you are able to download it. It's also online. You can Google it. Okay. And download it. So it is extremely an awesome book. Okay, it has the answers. It explains them for you. And that'll help you understand the questions better. Okay, so give me a moment to refresh my screens and get all the websites that I am live streaming so that I can be able to see everybody that is attending and in all different media, because I am on Facebook, on YouTube. And so you're going to hear a little bit of noise in the background, okay, while I expand these screens. And I'll shut it down for a moment. Not to worry. Hey, welcome back, everybody. So this is Wednesday evening, and today we're going to review about 25 common questions. We're going to do about 13 questions of national. So it applies. Okay, so is that the one today? Oh, that's the one from last Wednesday. Sorry about that. And I'm trying to get the one that's for today. We're going to do about 13 questions of... Why is it? So bear with me, you all. Whenever you get onto the Facebook group, okay, or YouTube, you want to refresh your screen so that you see the session that is live at this moment. Because otherwise you might see an old one just like I am seeing, and that's not what you want to be on at the moment. You want to be able to participate live at this moment. You see, you hear myself repeating myself. Moment. You want to be able to participate live at this moment. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Don't give up. Moment. All right, so I've got the Facebook group, I've got YouTube and the business page coming up. And I need to have all this so that I can be able to answer anybody that's participating. Okay. All right. So again, these are national questions. So anybody throughout the United States, okay, these apply to you. Okay, number 14. So we're going to do 12 or 13 national questions, then we'll go into another 12 or 13 state. So we have a total of 25 questions. Okay. Which of the following statements concerning an easement is true? So you want to know, what is the word easement, right? Because it's in all the answers. So that is vocabulary. That's why I stress it so much. So A, an easement is always an appurtenant. What is an appurtenant? B, an easement is an estate at sufferance. What's an estate? What is a sufferance? C, an easement can only be created by a deed. What is a deed? D, an easement appurtenant runs with the land. What does that mean? Okay, as you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5 different vocabularies. See what I mean about learning a vocabulary? Glossary. So which of the following statements concerning an easement is true? Type your answer, type the question number and the answer in the chat box, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Okay, I'll give you a moment for that, and then I'll type the answer in. All right, so I've got 2, 3 individuals saying D. Okay, and yes, that is correct. Hi, Sammy, Lisbeth, and Rosaura. Hey, Rosaura, hopefully you're not on your phone, because you guys will see this screen small if you're on your phone. And if you're on your computer, remember to click on the resolution down at the bottom of your screen, okay, and select 720 or 1080 so that you see a clear screen. Okay, otherwise it's going to look blurry and you're thinking that it is me that is showing you a blurry screen, but it's not. My background is blurred. All right, yes, the answer is D. An easement appurtenant, it runs with the land. Okay. Oh, very good. Okay, so I just want to let everybody know, anybody that's coming in, we're doing national exam questions, and question number 14 on exam number 1 is 14D. Okay. Very good. All right, number 15. Let's see, any comments? Good morning, Ceci. How are you? Hey, you all, welcome back. All right, 15. A comprehensive buyer representation agreement would address the what? A, buyer's desired property description. B, duties of the agent, termination date, and compensation agreement. C, agent's contact information. D, family contact numbers and names and numbers. So what is a buyer's representation agreement? Buyer broker representation agreement, or buyer tenant representation agreement. So when we're representing a buyer, we want to have them sign a buyer rep agreement so that we can provide them with all of our fiduciary duties, having an agency relationship, right? So far, I've got 15B, B. Okay, BBB. Awesome. Everybody doing awesome. Yes, the answer is 15B, right? A buyer's representation agreement is going to outline what is expected from the broker or and the buyer. So it'll have a start date, it'll have an end date, the area of where they're going to look for properties, the price range, okay, it could have on there if they're already pre-approved, and whether they're going to pay a buyer's representation commission if the seller doesn't pay for it, in case we approach a for sale by owner that they would like to buy and the seller doesn't want to pay the commission. So we're representing them. We have to get paid, right? We do this for a living. We are professionals, and professionals charge a fee. Okay. Always remember to charge a fee unless you're doing a pro bono, just like they do in the courthouse, right? Okay. Hi, Laura. Thank you for answering. Very good. Number 16. Which of the following phrases is not, so no discrimination, in an advertisement to lease a non-exempt 100-unit apartment complex under the current Federal Fair Housing Act? A, no handicapped alterations will be made. B, adults only, no children. C, no smoking on premises. D, females only. So which one would not be a discriminatory advertisement? So far I've got C. Okay, CCC. CCC, monsieur, oui, oui. Like Tyler Perry. I always remember that. So, all right. 16C it is. No smoking, right? Because that's now a federal law in certain public places and, apartments, homes, they can require no smoking. The others would be discriminatory, okay, of protected classes. So very good. Everybody's on a roll. Hey, and at any time, do you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to review? Why didn't it? Just write on the comments, send me a private message, type it on Facebook, on YouTube, and I'll do whatever I can to accommodate your need. Just keep in mind, I only do Texas state questions. I don't do other states, but for national or vocabulary or math, it applies to everyone. Okay, number 17. Which of the following is not all caps, an example of a public land use control? Public land use control. A, spacing between residential and commercial properties. B, gas, water, heater, exhaust system. C, percentage of brick veneer on home exterior. Or D, easements for wetland drainage. So which one is not impacting the use of public land by everyone? Your answer. 17C so far. Rosario, Elizabeth, very good. Keep it coming. And it's great to see you here on a Saturday morning on a gorgeous day, sunny, at least where I'm at in San Antonio. It's a gorgeous, clear skies and sunny. So great to see you here. Okay, yes, the answer is 17C. Percentage of brick veneer on home exterior, that doesn't impact the use of public land, right? Correct. But all the others do. Between residential commercial, there's a space called a buffer. Okay, so you want to know, what is a buffer? And then easements for wetland drainage and gas, water, heater, exhausting to the environment, right? Those are all protecting the environment and the use of land. Very good. Okay, number 18. Did I show the answer? As you can see on top, for anyone who came in a little bit later, we're doing national questions, exam number 1, continuing from Wednesday. So if you want to start, from the beginning, you can go to Wednesday's video, watch that on YouTube or on here. It's a lot easier on YouTube, and start from the beginning. Okay, 18. In an independent contractor agreement, The broker must make clear to the agent what? So we are independent contractor agent, right? We're independent contractors. So we have to sign an ICA. It's referred to as an ICA, independent contractor agreement. The broker must make clear to the agent what things. A, his working hours, his or her working hours. B, all company policies and procedures. C, the agent's responsibility for paying his or her own income taxes. And D, the agent's income tax rate. So the broker must make clear what? Type your answer in the chat box. And don't worry if you don't know it, okay, or you're taking a guess. I will help you understand the correct answer, okay? This is here for you to help you learn the material, pass the exam. Sammy, I would rethink it, okay? B is not. We're all going to get procedures and policies. However, what is critical to understand and know as an independent contractor? Hi, Sandy. Welcome back. No, this is the national portion. Okay. See on the top of my screen, it says national questions, national Q&A. We'll be doing like 12 or 13 of them. Thank you for asking, Ms. Trevino, MC. Not sure what your first name is. And you could go to, for those of you that your name doesn't show up on here, okay, it just shows up Facebook user, go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give Facebook permission to post your name on StreamYard, because I am using StreamYard to go live. The answer is 18C, okay? It is the agent's responsibility for paying their own income taxes, okay? We're independent contractors. We get 1099. We go to our accountant and take our 1099, okay? And that's how we report our income. We are not employees of the broker. We hang our license for the broker because that is required by every state in order to do real estate if we don't have our broker license yet, okay? And it's not necessary to have a broker license when you belong to certain brokerages like ours. Or like mine, okay? The brokerage I belong to. All right, so 18C. Very good. Thank you, Sandy. Oh, from Colorado. All right. Cold, cold, cold. Oh my gosh. And we have a happy sunny day also in Texas. We're going to be maybe in the 50s. You're a lot colder. Okay, number 19. Moving right along. Okay, any questions? Nope. Nope. All right. 19. The most accurate way to uniquely locate and bound a parcel of real property is to use what? A topographical map. B, latitude and longitude bearings. C, the assessor parcel number. Or D, a meets and bounds survey. The most accurate way to uniquely locate and bound a parcel of real property. So that would be done like during a survey, right? So type your answer in the chat box. Okay, so far I have DD. And yes, the answer is 19D. Very good. Meets and bounds survey. Okay, so there's different types of surveys depending on, I think 20 states use the meets and bounds, okay, lot and block survey. The other states that have lots of acreage, they use the block, not the block system. Sorry, the 32, 36. Gosh, I just lost my train of thought here. I had it on my mind. It's a government type of survey, okay, where they go by townships, range, sections, okay? So rectangular system. So the government rectangular system is in use like in 30 states. The other 20 use the meets and bounds, lot and block. And the difference is the rectangular system is more for large acreage. So Colorado probably uses that. So, okay, 19D, that's correct. All right, number 20. When we don't use certain things regularly, okay, we don't think of the words, we don't use that, the government rectangular system here in Texas. Okay, 20. Broker A represents a seller. Broker B shows this same seller's home to an unrepresented buyer. Okay, so you've got two brokers or two realtors. What kind of agency exists in this scenario? So seller is represented by broker A. However, broker B does not represent the buyer. So what kind of agency relationship exists in this scenario? A, sub-agency. Thank you, Sandy. B, cooperating brokerage. C, cooperation. Or D, fiduciary agency. What type of agency relationship exists with an unrepresented buyer? So for states that have dual agency, right, you could represent both sides. However, this one, the buyer is not represented. So what kind of relationship would that be? Okay, so far I've got 20. Oh, wow, we've got answers all over the place. B, A, B, D. So, no, most of you have to rethink it, okay? Rosaura, Sammy, Ceci, rethink your answer. Well, by not mentioning the other two persons, I'm telling you what the right answer is. The right answer is A, okay, sub-agency. When a buyer is not represented, they are considered, the broker is considered a sub-agent. So they're like a substitute agent for seller number A, okay, seller who's represented by broker A. Because the fiduciary responsibilities belong to the seller, not to a represented buyer, non-represented buyer. That buyer is representing themselves. We do not owe them any fiduciary agency. We don't have a fiduciary agency. We do owe them honesty, okay, and stating facts, okay, and care. Okay. However, we do not owe them all the fiduciary duties. So it is A. Okay. Those of you who answered cooperating brokerage, fiduciary agency, broker A has a fiduciary agency relationship with the seller because it says represents. Broker B says buyer is unrepresented. So there is no fiduciary agency relationship. Vocabulary, okay? I stress again how important it is to know your vocabulary. So go back and study your vocabulary. For those of you who got that answer incorrect, very crucial you do that. Okay, number 21. Got it? Any questions? Nope, I don't see any questions. All right. A loan in which the borrower pays interest only over the life of the loan and then pays the entire principal at maturity of the loan is called what? So what kind of loan? They're asking what kind of loan it is that the buyer pays interest only for the entire life of the loan. And then at the end, pays the whole amount. A balloon loan. B, an amortized loan. C, a term loan, or a package loan. Okay, so over the life of the loan, right, it has a certain term, a certain period. And that buyer or that person, that borrower, pays interest only. So the principal does not reduce every month. Okay, it stays the same. When the loan date is due, when it matures, let's say it's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, they're going to pay the whole principal amount. So what kind of loan is that? No, it is not an amortized loan. Okay, an amortized loan is when the the principal amount reduces every month. Okay, so it is not B. This loan is not amortized. They are paying interest only. Okay. The answer is C, a term loan. Okay. A term loan, okay, is when they pay interest only for so many years, and investors will use this loan. It could be an ARM loan, a 3-year loan, 5-year, 7-year, interest only. There are ARM loans that are amortized, but one that has interest only is a term loan. It's for a certain term. A balloon loan would be if it's a loan that they're going to pay principal and interest every month, but then at the end of the maturity date, they pay the whole amount balance due. Okay, an amortized loan, okay, it is a 15-year, 30-year, 10-year. It's a regular type of loan, and at the end of the payments, it's paid off. A package loan, okay, it's when you have multiple properties being, it could have, there's a blanket loan that covers a whole bunch of lot. Package loans also have multiple properties. Okay, so it's got a whole package. So do you guys understand that? So again, vocabulary, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, study your vocabulary. What is a balloon loan? What is amortized loan? What is a term loan? What is a package loan? After this class, go study your vocabulary. Not necessarily the answers for this one, but study the vocabulary. Okay, good. Oh, I already typed the answer on here. So I need to type it on the other page. Because we don't deal with finance a lot, the finance questions can be challenging. So go learn the vocabulary. Okay. So a term loan is a loan in which the borrower pays interest only until the end of the loan, when the entire balance is due, the entire principal, because it never got smaller. You would think, well, why the heck is somebody doing that? Paying just interest only? Because it's investors. They want to get a low interest rate, a low payment. Okay. And then once they do their remodeling, once they build it, whatever they're doing to that property, then they'll have the money to pay off the whole loan. Okay. Got it. Got it. All right. 22. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Rosaura says she understands. All right. Number 22. If a salesperson dies, their listings, what happens to them? A, remain intact with the broker. B, continue. C, belong to their family. Or D, terminate with the broker. Morning on the road. Hey, Jen. All right. On the road again. Jen has raccoons, cats, all kinds of animals on her property. It's awesome. I got to meet Jen here in San Antonio. It's so cute. And she's got these raccoons that she feeds every day. I know some people would say, man, don't feed wild animals. But hey, they live out in the wild, out in the country, and they become friends. There's more people that do that nationwide. All right. 22D, if a salesperson dies, their listing, what happens to it? Okay, ask yourself, who do the listings belong to? Do they belong to the realtor or they belong to the broker? That's the question to be asking yourself. They certainly don't belong to the family. Okay. And it doesn't just continue, right? Somebody else has to be put in charge. Yes, the answer is A. It remains intact with the broker. Okay. Anything that happens to the realtor, okay, the listings, the contracts belong to the broker. If a realtor moves to another company, but they have something under contract, they will get the commission that still goes to the broker, and the broker will pay them their percentage. All listings, all contracts stay with the broker. Now, should a salesperson move to another company and that listing does not have a contract, the broker will typically release the listing, because who is the owners working with? With us as the realtor. They don't necessarily care about who the brokerage company is. They care about who's taking care of them through the whole process, who they're trusting, and they'll follow you. Okay. So yes, the answer is 22A, remains intact with the broker. Very good. All right, number 23. Commercial building site value is commonly quoted to a buyer by price per A, square foot, B, front foot, C, acre, or D, parcel or tract. Commercial building site value. How are they usually quoted? So far, I have A's. Okay, anyone else? There are a whole bunch of you on here. Come on, go ahead and answer. I mean, if you're driving, of course you can't. So I understand that. But if you're at home or you're sitting down, you're not driving, and you're watching and you can type your answer in. I'll help you understand the material and get it right. That's what we're here for, right? That's why you're attending, to learn how to pass your exam, learn the material. Sammy, I would reconsider that, because what if they don't have an acre? That is not common. Sometimes land will be sold by acreage or square feet, not front foot or parcel or tract. Yes, I know you're driving, Jen. Okay, so number 23 is H. It is price per square foot. So when you end up starting business, you're going to see on the MLS, they'll have price per square foot. If you see on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, anywhere, a residence, residential property and commercial, you'll see price per square foot. Okay. That is the most typical. On land, sometimes you'll see price per acre, but others will look at price per square foot. So price per square foot is how it's addressed. Okay. All right, number 24. Very good. So let's see. Yeah. Number 24, which is true of owner's title insurance? Owner's title insurance. What is title insurance? Okay. A, it guarantees ownership in perpetuity. B, it is transferable to the next property owner. C, it will reimburse for title losses up to the face amount of the policy. D, it protects the lender against loss of rights. So owner's title insurance. Is owner dealing with a lender? No. Okay. They may or may not have a loan, right? But owner's title insurance. So it is insurance. What does insurance do? Hey, Jen, better focus on your driving, girl. Oh, you might be in the car. You may not be the one driving. Okay, so what does insurance do? Home insurance, home warranty insurance, life insurance, health insurance. They all have something in common. Yes. All of you're doing. Yeah, awesome. That's right, boyfriend. It will reimburse for title losses up to the face amount of the policy. Excellent. Very good. All right. So this will be the last national questions, and then we'll shift into some state questions. Okay. That'll be, I think, 13 questions. 12 questions. Okay. What are the buyer's choices upon presentation of a counter offer? What are the buyer's choices upon presentation of a counter offer? So the seller countered, they presented an offer, right? And the seller countered. So what are their choices when they receive a counter offer? Think about it and type your answer in the chat box. Actually, we'll do 13 national questions and 12 state, because you get more national questions on all exams. So far, I have DDD. And yes, the answer is D. They can accept, they can reject it, they can consider it, sit on it for a while, or they can counter. Okay. In some states, there is a deadline as to if they're given 24 hours, 48, 72 in order to respond. Otherwise, the offer expires. In Texas, we don't. There isn't a deadline. So if they consider it, that might mean they don't like it. In a way, it's kind of a silent, counter. It's like, hey, I don't like it. Do something better. So they can accept, reject it, consider, or counter. Our job as realtors is to help them come to a mutual decision, right? We want our buyer to get what they want. We want our sellers to get what they want. Sellers, highest and best price, we want to get them, right? We want them to profit the most. Buyers, we want to help them get the lowest and best price, okay, with everything that they want. So it depends who we're representing. So yes, 25D, awesome. Okay, one more question on national. Okay, so we're actually doing 13 questions today, 14 through 26. All right. When money is escrowed each month to cover annual payments of insurance and taxes, the mortgage is called what? Okay, so you have a little savings account to pay the annual insurance and taxes, which the lender, keeps every month from the monthly payment. That's what it's asking. So what is it called? What kind of mortgage is that? A blanket mortgage, B, a budget mortgage, C, a graduated payment mortgage, or D, a growing equity mortgage? Okay, so far I've got 26B. So you got to think about it. So if we're paying for the taxes and insurance ourselves, we've got to make sure, that we have some money set aside for doing that. Otherwise, we'll be penalized and it'll cost us more. Or the lender could accelerate the loan if what they require is not being paid. Okay, so far I've got BBB, boy, boy, boy. No, Ceci, it is not a blanket mortgage. A blanket mortgage is like a blanket. You can put multiple kids under a blanket on the bed, right? So a blanket mortgage covers multiple properties, like multiple lots in a subdivision. No, it is not a growing equity mortgage. Although, yes, it is correct. As you're paying money every month, the percentage of equity is growing. However, the question says when money is escrowed, okay, what is that money for? What kind of loan, okay, does that escrow account is attached to? And each month it's taken a portion of that taxes and insurance on the monthly payment and put into that little escrow savings account, budget account. It's a budget mortgage because not every loan is going to require an escrow account to take care of insurance and taxes. When a buyer purchases a home and puts down 20%, they have 20% equity. At that point, that lender doesn't require an escrow account. It'll put the responsibility on the borrower to pay the taxes and the insurance. So now we've got to create a budget for it. We've got to have a little savings account to have that money when the taxes and insurance are due. That's why they refer to it as a budget account or a budget mortgage. Because I forgot to put 25D. The lender is creating a little savings account. They budget for that. If you ended up overpaying, they'll send you that money the next year and they'll tell you what your new mortgage payment will be. If the taxes went up, they may require more money. If the insurance policy went up, they'll increase your monthly payment. So they'll let you know every year. They'll let the borrower know every year. So some people say, hey man, my monthly payment increased. Well, it's not because of the principal and interest. It's because of the property taxes and insurance. Because property taxes keep going up and up and up and up and up. Homeowners insurance keep going up and up and up and up and up. Okay. However, we can change homeowners insurance. We can't change property taxes. However, we can petition them. Okay. And go and prove that we haven't made any improvements on our property and get the property taxes reduced. Okay. So 26 is B, a budget mortgage. Okay. Y'all get that? All right. So that's it for national questions. For anybody that's here, like from Colorado, all right, or other state, we're now going to go into state questions. Any questions on national? I like your funny face, Ceci. That's funny. That's cute. Okay. No questions for national? Okay. Now, what am I going to stress right now? A lot of you miss some of these questions because of vocabulary. Vocabulary, vocabulary, vocabulary. Glossary, glossary, glossary. This book has a lot of glossary and it starts on page 153. Download this book or Google it online. There are a lot of real estate glossary. You can go to AgentPrep. Prep Agent, and also watch a lot of his vocabulary video. I have a lot of vocabulary videos, glossary videos, okay, on the YouTube channel and also on the Facebook. So please, it'll help you answer a lot of the questions. All right. So state questions. Let's see. We're starting on question number Let's see. We're starting with exam number 2. Okay, on page 196. Okay, we're starting today with question 88. Since there's only 30 questions for state on this book, then we go through the exams much quicker. All right, so we're now on state questions. And this is Texas state questions, okay? Because I am located in Texas. All right. Now, it'll help those of you that are in other states to understand the questions, okay? And how I explain them. So you can still stay here even though it is not for your state. Okay, so 88. So we're going to go 88 through 99. Okay, 12 questions. All right, responding to or so change your baseball cap or your hat you're thinking, and let's shift to state. Responding to or facilitating inquiries about the ancestry or familial status would put the licensee in the position of violating what? Okay, this is a national law, even though it's under state, right? So A, only the federal fair housing law. B, only the state fair housing law. C, federal and state laws, as well as the Texas Real Estate Commission rules. Or D, only the Realtor Code of Ethics. Type your question down. I'm going to refill my cup of coffee and warm up a little bit. All right, guys, type your questions in and answers. Question number and your answer. All right, let's see. So far, I've got A. Hey, you all are on a roll. Okay, so responding to facilitating inquiries about ancestry or familial status would put the licensee in a position of violating what? Only the federal fair housing laws or federal state laws, as well as Texas Real Estate Commission rules? The answer is C. Okay. It's a federal law, but it's also protected in state laws and in your real estate commission. Okay. So if it was Colorado, it'd be the Colorado Real Estate Commission. Okay. So the answer is C. It covers all of them. Got it? Great job, Lisbeth. Who else? And Sandy. Okay, number 89. When an agent does not fulfill the fiduciary duties and perform as promised, how may the client end the relationship? By reliction, by verbal notification, that's A. B, unilateral rescission in writing. C, listing with another broker. Or D, notifying the local multiple listing service, MLS. So who's the relationship between broker/realtor and client, right? So who's involved in either ending or continuing that relationship? Certainly is not the MLS board. The MLS board is the third party, a distance third party, non-involved third party. So it says, how may the client end the relationship? Again, real estate vocabulary, right? Okay, some of you have it right, some of you have it wrong. You've got C, B, C, B. The answer is going once, going twice. It is a unilateral rescission in writing, okay? Because it has to be done in writing by the buyer. Okay, I'm sorry, by the client. See, the first one says verbal. So no, it needs to be in writing. Listing with another broker, they can only have one agreement, okay, at a time. So before the other broker would accept their listing or contract, they would have to terminate the other, okay, or their agreement. So it has to be done in writing, and the contract or the agreement specifies that. So unilateral rescission. Unilateral is one way, right? Because only the client is ending the relationship. The client or the realtor can fire the other, okay? But in this case, it's the client who's firing the realtor / broker, right? And if you ever catch me typing the wrong answer, even though I might have said the right answer, please let me know. Okay, because I'm scared to comment. Oh, don't be, Vivian. No, no, no. Do not be scared. Just do it, okay? Don't take my harsh, sometimes comments. You've got to learn it. Hey, just do it. I'll help you get the answers correct, okay? I'll explain them. Take the risk. Life is a risk. Every day we wake up, it's a risk. Okay? The day we were born, our life became a risk. Okay? So every decision we make, okay, it's a risk. So make the decision to do it. You either do it or you don't do it. Do it. Be adventurous. Be risky, because the life is already a risk. The biggest risk we have in life is that we're not going to get out alive. That's what I listen to Jim Rohn when I listen to motivational, inspirational talks, okay, speakers every single morning. It's funny. Some of them are funny. But they're letting us know life is already a risk, guys, ladies. So do it. Don't be afraid. Don't live your life being afraid. Live your life being adventurous. If you make a mistake, oh, so well. We all make mistakes. Do you think billionaires, millionaires, successful individuals get there without making mistakes? Heck no. They make tons of mistakes. That's why they get there. All right, enough of pep talk. However, I listen to pep talk every day. Actually, the app is called Pep Talk. Okay, here's a long question. So in the exam, if you ever have a long question and if you feel uncomfortable like I used to with long questions, hey, check it to review later and come back to it. Okay, so I have to reduce the screen the resolution in order to show the whole question. All right, 90. Samuel is under contract with a buyer for the sale of their home. So Samuel is under contract with a buyer for the sale of their home. He has agreed to give the buyer a 10-day termination option, a 10-day option period, right? What is an option period? As described in paragraph 23 of the Texas Real Estate Commission contract. Well, this has changed. It is now in the beginning on the first page of the contract instead of paragraph 23. They compared it with the earnest money deposit on section 3 of the exam. So that has changed. So that's why it's highlighted. It's no longer paragraph 23. However, option period is still option period. So Samuel has been paid $350 option fee, and the buyer has deposited $2,500 as earnest money with an escrow agent. If the buyer delivers a notice of termination to Samuel on the 10th day, Samuel is obligated to do what? And in today's world, it's at the 10th day at 5 p.m. It used to be midnight. So that would be another question that would be old, outdated. Who's up and doing business at midnight? So it is 5 p.m., which most businesses close. Okay. So A. So when the buyer does a notice of termination, what happens to the monies? Release $2,800 to the buyer and keep the $50 non-refundable part of the option fee. B, release one half of the earnest money to the buyer and retain the other half plus the option fee. Release all of the earnest money to the buyer and retain the entire option fee. D, release all the earnest money and option fee to the buyer because the buyer terminated within the contractual prescribed time. So what does an option allow the buyer to do? So if you invest in stocks, you can buy stock options, right? So type in your answer, right or wrong or not sure, please do it. Okay? Type it in the chat box. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, I see them all. And I look around because I have 3 computer screens, okay? On one of them, I'm looking at the answers that everybody's typing. On the other one, I'm looking at StreamYard to see if everything's doing good. Okay, so far I have DDB. We're on question 90. Okay, all of you rethink this, okay? All of you have typed the incorrect answer, so please rethink this. What happens to the earnest money? What happens to the option fee? And that buyer terminated within the acceptable 10-day period time. So if they did it within the right timeline, is their earnest money at risk? No. However, what happened to the other fee? It's an option fee. They paid to have a 10-day period to do inspections, right? So what is that? So the answer is C, release all the earnest money to the buyer because the earnest money is not at risk during the option period. If they go 30 seconds, a minute after the option period, it is now at risk. And that's the realtor's fault typically for not portraying the answer to the other party. However, it also could be the client. Okay. So the answer is C, release all the earnest money to the buyer and retain the entire option fee, which was $350. And during this market, it's very typical to pay $10 per day. But in this market, some buyers are paying thousands of dollars, okay, to have that option period to do inspections. During that option period, inspections are done. All the due diligence that the buyer has to do is done during that time. And the realtor gets involved with them to help them out. We don't select the inspectors. We don't select the roofers. We recommend 3, and the buyer has to choose their own. And we recommend those that we have experience working with or that other realtors refer to us, okay, to recommend if we haven't worked for them, because, there could be, in San Antonio, we're a huge city, okay? And so within city in our county, we have like 1.5 million. No, we have more than that. Sorry. I forget our population. We're the 7th largest city in the nation. However, we have a small town feel. Okay, the answer was C. The buyer gets to keep all their earnest money, and the option fee belongs to the seller. Okay. All right. Number 91. Back to small questions or short questions. Let's increase. All right. Y'all got that? So most of you got it right or redid the question. No, actually, a lot of you selected D. D was release all earnest money and option fee. No, option fee is always kept by the seller. Okay. And it's now deposited here in Texas at the same time with the earnest money. The title company will keep it. In the past, we had to deliver the option fee to the other realtor so that they could deliver it to the client. That, made it a real challenging thing during COVID. So the contract was adjusted so that the option fee and the earnest money are both delivered to the title company, and the title company sends it to the seller. That is the option fee. Okay. All right. 91. Newlyweds Jack and Jane have just acquired a farm of several hundred acres 10 miles from the city and established it as their homestead. How much of the farm is protected from seizure and forced sale under the Texas Constitutional Homestead Protection? So what is homestead? How many acres are allowed to be protected under the homestead? A, 100-acre maximum. B, 200-acre maximum. C, the entire farm. Or D, 10 acres, including the land upon which the house sits. So this is newlywed. So that means Jack and Jane are married. Okay. There's certain amounts for single individuals, and there's other amounts for married. Okay, so far Jen and Rosaura says B. Okay, come on, everybody. Take a risk. Vivian, go ahead, type your answers. Yes, the answer is B, 200 acres maximum. So if it's a 500-acre farm, 200 acres will be protected under the homestead. Okay, number 92. Who or what requires a person to hold a license issued by the Texas Real Estate Commission, known as TREC, prior to performing acts of brokerage, such as selling, leasing, or locating real property for sale or lease? Because in Texas, we also do leasing properties, rentals. Some other states only do selling and buying, no rental. It has to be done by property management companies. But in Texas, we can help tenants. So is it who requires a person to hold a license for leasing? A, Texas Real Estate Commission. B, the governor of Texas. C, the Texas legislature. Or D, the Texas statute of frauds. I'll go back to it, Sandy. So let's do question 92. So who requires a person to hold a license issued by Texas Real Estate Commission prior to performing acts of brokerage, such as selling, leasing, or locating real property for sale or lease? So who's in charge of Texas Real Estate Commission? Who controls Texas Real Estate Commission? Okay, so far I have A, C, AACC. Yes, the answer is C. It is the Texas legislature. Okay. The Texas legislature controls the Texas Real Estate Commission. And that's who requires that a broker, that Texas Real Estate Commission issues the license for a brokerage who's selling, leasing, or locating real property. Okay, so let's go. Let's go back. Sandy asked about explaining 91 again. Okay, Sandy, whenever we have a contract between a seller and a buyer, the buyer asks if they want to do, when they want to do inspections, roofs, wells, septic, air conditioner, anything, they'll ask for a time frame called a termination option period to do their inspections. During that option period, they have to pay for that, to have that option to run inspection. So that means the seller is putting their property on hold and cannot accept other offers unless they go into a backup position. So the seller is waiting 10 days, 5 days, in this case, 10 days, for the buyer to do inspections and decide whether they're going to go forward with the purchase or they're going to terminate. That is called the option period, and time is of the essence, and it ends at 5 o'clock. So if it's a 10-day period, so today is the 19th, so the 20th would be considered the first day, 24 hours later. Now, if it's signed at 9 o'clock in the evening or in the morning, it's still 5 o'clock the next day. It's not exactly 24 hours. So the buyer has to pay that option fee. Okay. And in this case, that buyer paid $350 to have the right to do inspections within a 10-day period. And their earnest money is not at risk if they decide to terminate within that 10-day period by 5 p.m. But that realtor representing the buyer has to make sure that they inform the listing realtor before 5, so that realtor can inform their seller. Because remember, we have to acknowledge and be informed. Notification has to be given. If the notification happens after 5, that deposit, earnest money, is now at risk. But if they do it before 5 p.m., the buyer gets their earnest money. It's not at risk. And the seller keeps the option fee. Okay, that's in every contract. The acre question. Okay, the acre question. That one was. Oh, I'm sorry. 91. Okay, so you got to learn the option period. Okay, when you have homestead, okay, is a law that protects homeowners that live and occupy on the property, whether be it single or married. And so creditors cannot take your property away, like credit cards or department stores or things like that. The lender can, if we default on the loan or on property taxes or on insurance. However, a homestead is your primary residence. And if you live out in the country with lots of acreage, a married couple can be allowed 200 acres to be protected by the homestead law. So the creditors, if they go in debt and creditors start coming after them, those creditors cannot attack at least 200 acres. Anything over 200 acres could be at risk for seizure, okay? But the 200 acres, they are protected from seizure or forced sale under Texas constitutional homestead protection. All right. Now, if it's a defaulted mortgage, well, the lender can foreclose. It doesn't matter if it's a homestead because they owe a loan. But for other creditors, it cannot be seized. They can't take your primary residence away. If it was only Jack, then it would be 100 acres. But since it's married Jack and Jane, then it is a maximum of 200 acres. Thank you, Jen, for pointing that out. So now I explained two questions. Okay, you get that, Sandy? Okay, so we're now on number 93. I hope that helped. All right. Number 93. Sarah, salesperson, okay, sales agent, has a signed buyer representation agreement. I just mentioned that, Sandy. It is 100 acres per individual. A single person, it's 100 acres. A married couple is 200 acres. Okay. Now, if they bought the property together and they're not married, but they own 50-50, they're tenants in common. So each one would have 100 acres. But as a married couple, then together they get 200. All right, number 93. Sarah, salesperson, has signed a buyer representation agreement to represent Bernie and Bonnie, buyers. Okay. So there's a representation, agency representation. She shows them a home listed by Lisa List a Lot, who tells Sarah that the sellers are desperate and that she is sure that she can get them to accept $10,000 less than the asking price. What should Sarah do? Okay, so Sarah represents buyer, List a Lot represents seller. So what should Sarah do when she learns that the seller is willing to take $10,000 less? A, call the seller and tell them what Lisa said. B, suggest that the buyers make a lowball offer. C, keep the information to herself. D, share the information with Bernie and Bonnie. They're the buyers, right? So thank you for asking questions, Sandy. That's what I want you all to do so that I can review and help you understand the question. And if you still don't understand it, text me, post on the bottom, and I'll private message you. Okay, so far I have DD. Come on, y'all. There's a whole bunch of you on here. Go ahead and answer. Yeah, I sound like I'm rough sometimes, but I'm a good-hearted person, okay? I like to help. I like to laugh a lot and have a lot of fun and be positive and crazy and wild. That's why I'm wild, Lillie Handy. Okay, so I have D, 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 and C. Lisbeth, rethink it. This Sarah represents the buyer. So anything that Sarah knows, she must disclose to her buyer, even if it's something the listing agent told her. Hey, it's not her fault the listing agent shared that information, right? Yes, you do. It's best for you to disclose because you represent the buyer. And what is our job as a buyer agent? To get the lowest and best price for our buyer. So, hey, if they can offer 10,000 less, yippee, woo, man, awesome. We just helped the buyer save 10,000, right? So yes, we disclose that. And why? Because we don't represent the seller. The seller agent told us that the sell. And so that buyer, that listing agent, she was not doing her fiduciary duty. That is personal and should not be disclosed. It's a personal price that's on the market for the seller. We don't disclose that the seller is willing to do less, because as representing the seller, I want to bring the highest and best offer to my seller, right? Get them the most money. So the answer is D, share the information with Bernie and Bonnie. Okay. Number 94. Okay, she got it. 93 point D. All right, 94. Your seller say that he doesn't want to accept any offers from buyers who are represented by a buyer's agent. So who do they want to get it from? As the listing agent, what should you do when a buyer's agent brings an offer on the listing on behalf of his client, their client, his or her client? A, present it to the seller. B, send it back to the buyer's agent. C, throw it away. Whoa, man. D, file it and forget about it. So what should that listing agent do? What is our fiduciary responsibility, whether a client likes it or not? Now, there are exceptions, and I'll mention it. Okay, so far I have 94A. Come on, y'all. Type your answer in. Take a risk. Everything is risky, so take the risk. You're welcome, Jen. Have a great day camping. All right, the answer is A. Present it to the seller. Even if the seller is going to get upset, our fiduciary duty is to present all offers as they come in to the seller. Now, if the seller puts it in writing and says, hey, I don't want to see any offers under a certain price. Okay, well, we have it already in writing. We're doing our fiduciary duty, and we inform the other realtors, hey, seller's not going to accept that offer. I have it in writing. So the best thing to do is have your buyer bring their highest and best above this price. Okay. So 94A. Very good. 95. When a client tells an agent to do something illegal, what should the agent do? A, obey without question. B, sue the principal. C, terminate the agency relationship. Or D, ignore the order. So if somebody tells you in real life to do something illegal, what are you going to do? Same here. Type your answer in the chat box. For those of you that are participating, that's excellent. Okay. You're doing the right thing by participating and taking a risk, whether it's right or wrong. You've got a 50-50 chance. You may get it right, right? So think about getting it right. So I've got 95 CCC. That is correct. The answer is 95C, terminate the agency relationship. We are independent contractors, okay? This is our profession. And we don't do anything that could cause losing our license. That's our livelihood. Okay? So you terminate the relationship. It's not worth it. Okay? Or help them understand that that is not acceptable. Okay? That you won't represent them under that circumstance. Okay, number 96. I have encountered that, okay? And I end the relationship. Or they end up realizing, okay, we have to change how we're doing things. All right, 96. It is unlawful for an individual licensed as a real estate salesperson to do what? A, sell timeshares. B, act as an act as an apartment locator. C, act as a broker in a commercial transaction. Or D, represent a buyer in the name of his or her sponsoring broker. What is unlawful for an individual licensed as a real estate person to do? So what is the question asked? Real estate salesperson. Okay. They're licensed, but they are a salesperson. Keyword. Decision maker is the keyword. Salesperson. So what can or cannot a salesperson do? Sammy, I would reconsider that. That is not correct. So selling timeshares is allowed as a licensed real estate person. Okay. So we're salespersons. Are we a broker? When we're a salesperson, can we act as a broker? No. So it's unlawful for us, or when you get started, you're going to be a licensed real estate salesperson. You cannot act as a broker in any transaction because you're not a broker. In Texas, it takes at least 4 years, a certain number of transactions that we get points for, and 900 credit hours. Okay. And taking the broker exam. And 630 of those can be if you have a bachelor's degree, okay, a college degree. So the answer is C. We cannot act as a broker in a commercial transaction, residential, any type of transaction if we are a licensed salesperson. Okay, we are not brokers, we are salespersons. So what would we do? We would refer that transaction to a commercial agent and get a referral fee. Okay, that's how we also make money. We don't let it go. We refer it out to someone that is a commercial realtor or broker. Okay. Number 97. Okay, so 96 was we cannot act as a broker in a commercial transaction if we are a salesperson or when we are a salesperson. All right, 97. Well, it's not a profit that you're making, Sammy. It's commission. So we're able to make commission on a timeshare because timeshares are purchased by the individual buying a timeshare, and then they pay a yearly maintenance. So it's like they own in that cooperative organization, okay, the timeshare company or resort, they own 1 or 2 weeks. So they buy that and then they pay a maintenance fee yearly because they're going to use it every year or let family use it. So yes, we get paid commission on that. I've never dealt with that because I don't live in a resort area where, timeshares are being sold. So we don't make a profit. We make commission. We are paid commission. We make a profit if we buy and sell. Well, how I understand that question, we own the timeshare and not representing an individual or company. No. It is unlawful for an individual licensed as a real estate salesperson. Okay. We're a salesperson. We are licensed. So yes, it's not telling you whether you're buying it, but we're representing somebody else. Otherwise, it would have said if you purchase it, We can purchase it, but we're here talking about realtors representing clients. So what can we not do? Okay. We can sell timeshares. We can be an apartment locator. We can represent a buyer, okay, in the name of his or her broker, but we cannot be a broker. Okay. So it has nothing to do with buying or selling for ourselves. In this question, we are representing someone, or we are working in a situation where it is a resort where we can help buyers with or sellers with timeshares. Okay. All right. Number 97. Which of the following is not a loan fee as identified in paragraph 12 of the Texas Real Estate Commission promulgated contract and the third-party financing condition addendum? A, buy down fee. B, loan funding fee. C, loan origination fee. Or D, loan commitment fee. I should have had the, all right, so 97 B. Wow, nobody took a chance on that one. It's a tough one. Okay, 98. Wow, I got to go smaller. Okay. Okay, any questions? Nope. All right, 98. Anthony, a salesperson and independent contractor, recently left his or her broker at Country Realty and joined Citywide Realty. So realtor moves from one company to another. He left Country Realtor before closing a sale he made when he was with that broker. Which is the following is true? Which of the following is true? So what happens if you have a contract and you move to another broker, right? What happens to your commission? A, Anthony must forfeit the commission on the sale he made when he was with the old broker. B, Anthony is entitled to his commission to be paid him by the Country Realty broker, even though he now has another broker. C, the Country Realty broker will pay the Citywide broker and split with Anthony. Or D, the seller will pay the Citywide Realty broker who will split with Anthony. So far, I have B. So Anthony moves to another brokerage, but he had a transaction active with his first brokerage, right? Remember, all contracts, all listings belong to the broker, whether somebody dies or moves. However, we still earn our commission. So yes, the answer is 98B. Anthony is entitled to his commission to be paid to him by Country Realty. That's who he was with, right? Even though he now has another broker. Okay, so it belongs to the first broker and they are being paid by the seller. Seller doesn't move and pay the other organization because Anthony's representing a buyer. Okay, so, well, it doesn't say if he's representing the buyer or the seller. It doesn't matter. The commission is paid to the broker that the contract was initiated with, and then paid to the buyer agent. So the broker keeps their percentage and pays the percentage to the buyer agent or to the salesperson. Sorry, it doesn't say buyer or broker or buyer or seller. So 98 is B. Okay. Right? Right. Okay, last question of the day, and you can go and enjoy your day. This will be question number 25. So 99. An earnest money check has been returned to the title company by the prospective buyer's bank, marked NSF. not sufficient funds, no sufficient funds, right? So what should the listing agent do? A, inform the seller. B, redeposit the check. C, contact the buyer for an explanation. Or D, tell the title company to run it through. Who's our fiduciary responsibility due? To whom? So we're not in control of the fund. In the old days, the funds would be at a trust company with the broker office. Now, those earnest money funds, right, are taken to the title company or to whoever the escrow officer is, and that could be an attorney, okay? So that money is there. It got deposited and it was returned. So what does the realtor have to do? Should do, have to do, must do. So up program, and Sammy are related. Oh, cool. Yes, inform the seller. I mean, because every time you return a check, right, they're being charged. However, we don't want to rerun a check, and that's up to the title company, not us. Title companies will not rerun a check. They're now going to require money to be wired in or a money order or cashier's check. Okay. So the fiduciary duty of that agent, okay, is to inform the seller. That's who we're getting paid by. That's who we work for. Okay, remember, we don't work for the broker. Here, we're being hired by a client, right? The principal. That seller is paying us, is paying the brokerage, right? So we work for them. Okay, that's how we're getting our commission. But it goes to the broker, and then the broker pays us our percentage. So very good for those of you who answered A. We inform the seller. Title company already knows because they're the ones that deposited the money to the bank or the escrow officer, which could be an attorney, okay, wherever the transaction is being closed. Attorneys can close transactions. However, they will have to order the title report, the title commitment to have a title policy through a title company. Very good, y'all. And yes, I am a Texan, and I don't necessarily have a Texas drawl, but it's kind of nice. Say y'all. Okay, awesome class. Great participation. Hope you understand it. Hope you learned a lot from this and realize that in order to do better and pass your exams, study that vocabulary over and over. Learn them. Okay. Study with somebody else that can ask you the question of the vocabulary and, define it. And do a lot of questions and then look up the answers. Do the questions until you get 100% correct. Don't stop if you say, oh, well, I got 70% correct. Well, because you know what? The questions at the exam could be harder. And they may throw out questions that you've never heard of. So get all the ones that are similar to what you've studied or similar to these exams, okay? Then those that are get to know the ones that are similar to the exam. The more you do these questions and you practice them over and over to get 100, that's what I did when I was taking my exam in Oregon and in Texas. I would do the questions over and over until I scored 100. Okay. And keep on a focused area. Okay. So that you're not disturbed by family, friends, phones, alerts or anything like that. We must be 100% focused to learn this material. And don't be hard on yourself, okay, if you don't pass. It's okay. I didn't always pass the first time. I did here in Texas, but I had already practiced real estate, but I was still nervous. I was still scared. But I took the risk right away and did it. as soon as I finished all my courses, okay, I did the prep class. I did the prep course, okay, online and on a book. And I didn't have this book at the time. I was not aware of it. So I learned about this book from other students that they loved it. And these were students taking the test in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18. And they tell me that some of these questions are identical on the exam. Not all of them. Okay. But answer the questions that come to you easy first, and then leave the harder ones till later. That's what some of these books recommend. The first 5 questions of every exam, my understanding is they are the hardest. So what is recommended on one of these books is, skip the first 5, put them for review or write it down on a sheet of paper, and skip the math problems because it's a different thinking pattern than questions. Okay. Mathematical or logical, practical, right? Solving problems. And so mark down the question review, the first 5 questions and the math questions to answer after you answer all the other questions and you feel comfortable with them. Come back and answer the first 5 questions and the math. You will pass. Okay? You will pass. Thank you, Sandy. You're very welcome. All right. So, hey, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel, hey, help me grow. Tap the subscribe button, okay? And click the bell so you get notified every time I come up and load a new video or I come live. And like this video, comment below, all right? I will reply to you. I read every single comment and I reply to every single comment, okay? I love doing this. I'm here to help you pass. So remember, subscribe, tap the little bell to get notified, and like this video. Send me some love and let us grow together. I'm almost at 500 subscribers and my goal is to get 1,000 by June 30th. The more love you send me, the more I produce. This forces you to read all the questions. Yes, it does. Very helpful. Thank you, Up Program. And thank you, Lisbeth. Thank you, Rosaura. All of you. It's great. Also, a good tactic is to read question D first and make your way up to the question itself. Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard that one, Sammy, but did y'all read that? Sammy says, read the answer of D first, and then work the way up through the other answers. And sometimes also, if you don't know any of the answer at all, you have no idea, they say, check to see what the prior questions are. If they had a consecutive B, B, B answer, select B. If it was C, 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 select C. You're more than likely to get it correct. Okay, so those are some test pointers. All right, y'all. Y'all have an awesome day. I'm going to prepare plans for some other videos for the week. And study, guys. I want you all to become realtors, professionals, and have an awesome career. Just realize this is your business. To make money, you need to invest money, okay, in your business. Educate yourself. Continue learning. Always, 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 okay, to be the best that you can be of yourself, to represent those buyers and sellers or clients or prospects, okay? And we generate our own leads. Some brokers may give us a few leads, but that is not the tradition. We generate our own leads. It's our business. If you have a grocery store, how do you generate people to come to your store? Market, 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 market. Marketing is something that you must learn in order to market yourself, because you are the boss. I am the boss of me with my clients, with my business, except when they're paying me, they're the boss of me. Okay, not the broker. Clients will follow you, not the broker. So if they say, oh, who's that company you're with? Hey, it really doesn't matter. It's my service that's important. Okay, it's what I'm going to do for you, whether you're with a little boutique company or whether you're with a big, huge conglomerate company or a virtual company like I am. I'm with eXp Realty and I love it. I've been with many different companies, boutique companies, Century 21, never was with Remax and those. And I had my own brokerage. with one realtor, okay, when the market fell. In 2007, I was in Oregon. I did a lot of short sales. I helped a lot of people save their homes or negotiate with the lender to get them money and prevent a foreclosure. So I've been around in 3 different markets. The biggest thing that's going to bring you buyers is marketing, marketing, marketing. The best place to do it now is on YouTube. Okay, YouTube is owned by Google. And where do we all go to search? Google this, Google that. We go online. So my company, eXp Realty, or my broker, okay, it's an online cloud-based company. We can do it from anywhere. And the cap is the same nationwide. And we're already in tons of countries. We're in all 50 states. So many of us work out of home now. 75% of employees of all kinds of companies work at home. So major corporations are saving a lot of money from not having to pay all that cost of having employees in the office and them being more focused by focusing at home. Okay, so it's going to get even bigger. Okay, and more companies are going to try to go global. Where do you buy movies? Netflix, okay, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and HBO Max. They're all online. Where do you buy a lot of other supplies? Amazon and other online, Wise, or, So how do we do business? Online. So don't you want to be with a company that's leading technology and doing it online? Have quick and easy access to everything? Yes. So whenever you're ready to talk about a sponsorship, I can sponsor you anywhere in the US, anywhere in the world. We all commute and meet in our application that's called eXp World. That is our office. You'd be amazed at how many more people, more realtors you'll get to know worldwide and share properties and get commission from anywhere in the world. Okay, with that said, have an awesome day. Until next time, catch you later. Study hard, study smart. Bye.